Hi, I'm Charles Reid, and I'm a painter in oil and watercolor and have been painting for many years. And one of the things I do these days is doing a great deal of teaching. And one of the most popular parts of the class are the critiques. So we're going to do a series of critiques in this film, and I hope you'll find them helpful and useful. So let's get started. We have a lovely still life here, and just wanted you to admire it. It's beautifully done, and it's, even though it's, I think I find certain areas that are too hard-edged. I think we should have some lost and found in here, but the value range in here is lovely, and a wonderful handling of the highlights. And actually these values up by the eggplant and the peppers are the best. Unfortunately, I think she's losing a little bit of the value. This is getting a little faded out, as is the inside of the mushrooms. Anyway, Lynn, this is a lovely painting. So I'm just going to do a small section of the eggplant just to get a start here, and I need a negative shape behind. And I've got a little ultramarine blue here, and a little Payne's gray, and that's a little bright, so I'm going to add a little umber to that. This is some more burnt umber. Sometimes when this Lynn is a hard-edged painter, more or less. So when in order to keep the edges, so to keep a connection between shapes, you might lighten the dark in here, for example. Okay, now we're going into the adjacent pepper. Now I need to go darker. I'm going to use a little carmine in there, a little blue. Well, there's a place where again, there's nothing wrong with hard-edged paintings, but I still think there should be a connection between things. Actually, you did very well here. And next to that is the green pepper, and I'm going to use a little sap green. So I'm actually painting these things right next to each other, wet and wet, leaving a little white to separate on the top of the red pepper. I'm using some cadmium yellow pale in here, and didn't get a very good green there, did I? Not a great green. Now into the leeks, I would try a little carmine and a little yellow ochre and a little cerulean. This is my basic kind of, and in here I'm just going to go very lightly and possibly let a little of that still wet eggplant go in there. A little soft edge here, I think. Now let's try a little bit of the cadmium yellow and cadmium yellow pale and a little cerulean in here. Now here's where I think I would, in your painting you did I'm going to copy yours more or less just to say, so instead of having it quite so dark, the eggplant down in here, I would lighten it up and do wet and wet. So I would not have that eggplant down there too dark. I'd have more something like this. And I did that wet and wet. You could wait for it to dry, but we're going to press on here. So into the mushroom. Now that's carmine again. You could try a little cadmium orange, I think, maybe, just to jazz it up. And here we have a cast shadow down here. I'm just using some straight cerulean. Now inside the mushroom, let's go just a little bit darker. I've got some of the original Payne's gray and blue, and Might add a little bit of my yellow burnt sienna maybe. Just getting a little bit darker in there. Sometimes I just literally add color right to the paper. Now over to another mushroom. I've got enough paint in here. And a little bit more on that one. Okay, the other thing I'd like is to get a little bit more intensity in the leeks. And I think cerulean works well here with the cadmium yellow pale or lemon yellow in this section. A little bit more in there. And like you can paint right across the boundaries in here. Now I am going to have to stop because we need to have this dry a bit. So what I'd like to show you is that as I generalize these leeks, and then when it dries, I'll make some separations. So let's just do some wet and wet. I'm going to go maybe a little cobalt blue, and let's try some yellow ochre. And more blue maybe. I just tried cerulean there. That doesn't look so good. Let's just try a little more yellow. Mixing on the paper here. Okay, we're going to stop for the moment and let this dry. Okay, I just wanted to show you how I generalize these first and then come back when they're dry. Okay, let's have that dry for a moment. Well, it's almost dry now, and I think one of the things that's important is that we want a combination of lost edges and definite edges, and I just think in some cases Lynn has been a little bit too specific, and also again the color could be a little bit better. I wish she had seen, done this kind of intensity and value range in these three things, and she's, it's getting a little faded out in here. Anyway, as this is drying, I'm going to get a little bit more with some burnt sienna. Let's find a little bit more color in the mushrooms here. See, I don't really do it. I don't fill it all in. Just sort of when I want to restate something, I don't completely cover the original wash that I want to correct. Maybe just a little bit of the put a little accent in there. Okay, the little accents like that maybe jazz it up a wee bit. Okay, we've got another mushroom in here. I'm just going to do that a little bit. That was a little carmine. See that's a little hard edged actually, and I think I should lift that. I like to do those little dabs, but that one I got carried away with. Whoops, I'm getting too much carmine. The trouble with carmine is that it's nice, but it can be pretty assertive. Okay, what I'd like to do now is go back with some, let's try a little bit of, ultramarine, a little cobalt, and a little carmine. I'm just going to find a little bit of, and I think a little sap green maybe. You could use any green you wished in here. But I just want to find a little bit. Now we'll do a little bit of the cadmium yellow, just to find a little bit of separation in here. Okay, let's call that a draw. Anyway, it was a very, very good painting, and I'm not really improving on it. I just wanted to show you where I would soften edges and get a little bit more color in some of the areas. I think you can see that the values and colors in here are terrific. Now this could be a photograph problem. You know, it's hard for me. I'm just judging by this color copy. So anyway, that is that for our eggplant, pepper, and leeks.